Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blueprint Entertainment. Today we're going to be doing a PC build. This is going to be my second build I'm doing on the channel. I did one back in March. I did the RTX 2080 Super with the Ryzen 9. So these are the parts we're going to be using today. We can start off with the CPU here. We're going to be using the Ryzen 5 3600. It's a 6-core, 12-thread CPU. And we're going to pair that with the ASUS B450 Tough Gaming motherboard. We also have 2 sticks of 8 gigs of G.Skill, 16 gigs total. This is going to be rated at 3600 speed. For storage, we got 2 options here. We're going to be using a 256 gig from TEAMGROUP with a 2 terabyte hard drive from Seagate. And then we have a 600 watt Thermaltake power supply. This should be enough juice for this build. This is a mid-range build, so we shouldn't run out of any power. We also have extension cables here. This is just for aesthetics to make the build look a little bit more appeasing. And for the main star of the show, we have the RTX 2060 Super. This is going to be a very awesome graphics card. It's mid-range, but it does pack power. You probably can game in 1080p, 4K. It should fit all your needs for graphics wise. And then we just have a regular rose wool case here. I'm not sure. This whole total of this build is about $900 plus with everything going on in the world. Graphics card prices are rising and they're crazy. So let's get started and thank you for watching. We got the motherboard in front of us. First thing we're going to do is...
What the fuck is this all about?
This is going to be a step-by-step guide, so if you never built a PC before, this could be your first time watching. So we're going to be taking out the CPU. So right here, we have the AMD Spire CPU cooler. And then we got some pamphlets that we don't need. And here's the Ryzen 3600 CPU. So what you're going to want to do is do not touch the CPU. You don't want to get it messed up with any grease or oil. You want to grab it by the corners. Do not touch the pins. You're going to always want to grab it by the edges. And if you see there's a little triangle down here on the CPU, you're going to want to match it up with the motherboard here. The best thing to remember is that Ryzen, if you ever build a Ryzen CPU, the Ryzen techs go towards the DIMM slots here where the RAM goes. So you're going to just drop this in. You don't have to, you have to pull this lever out, of course. Pull this lever up. You do not have to slam this CPU down. You can just actually set it down. Let me make sure this is lined up. Yeah, so you just set it in, let it drop in. There, it dropped in, and then you're going to put the lever back down. Got to secure it. There you go. So the CPU is in. And then to input the CPU cooler, you're going to pull the cooler out. Now to install the CPU cooler, you need to remove these brackets when you're installing the stock one. So it's going to slowly, oops. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. Just want to slowly undo these screws. You don't want to put a lot of force because if you crack the motherboard, your whole build's going to go bye-bye. So you just want to be gentle. Nothing on here needs to be forced. So you're going to unscrew these. You want to make sure they're unscrewed all the way before you pull the brackets off. I think we should be good now. So you want to pull these brackets. Looks like this one's still. You can finger loosen this one. Come on. Be free, my friend, be free. Okay, here we go. I didn't think these brackets would be that crazy, but all right, so we got the brackets off. Now this CPU already comes pre-applied with thermal paste. You can see the thermal paste here. So you don't need to put thermal paste on here. You can clean this off, but it's a moot point. Like, you don't ever want to do that. But how you want to line this CPU up, just like how I said the CPU, what is this? That's a no-no. I don't know what that was, but we need to get that off the CPU. So the Ryzen text always goes towards the DIMM slots. The AMD text on the cooler needs to go this way, toward the left. So, well, it's my right, but it's your left because that's what you're looking at here. So you're gonna wanna line this up. Line these up. Wait a minute. What is this? Oh, here we go. Wait a minute here. Why isn't this lining up? Wait a minute. Okay, maybe it's the shorter. Yeah, it's the shorter ends. The shorter ends need to go this way. There we go. Now it should line up. Ow. All right. So what you want to do is you want to start tightening this down. You want to do it in a crisscross motion. You don't want to do it like too crazy, but just do it slow on, just go corner to corner, but in a cross pattern. And then you just want to tighten it down until it's tight enough. It doesn't have to be anything crazy as long as it's connected. And then you want to get your connector cable right here. And then you want to connect it right here on the CPU fan number 1. We got the CPU fan header connected for the CPU cooler. The cable is a little long, so we had to reroute it through where the nuts go right here. This is CPU header 1, so we're going to move on to the RipJaws. This is DDR4 3600 RAM. Should be really, really speedy. So we're going to use the 2nd and 4th DIMM slots to install these. So what you're going to want to do is, when you're installing the RAM, you're going to want to push down on each corner until it clips. This clip should clip up. So the best thing to do to clip in the RAM sticks, 2 thumbs, and apply the pressure. These clips should pop up. So next we're going to move on to the storage of the M.2. This is a NVMe. So this is going to be where we're going to put the Windows operating system. It'll make the system boot up super fast. So what you're going to do is you're going to insert it into this slot right here. This is the primary M.2 slot. You're going to put it in at an angle, and then it should click. And then there's a standoff right here, and we're just going to screw it in. So first we're going to get the screw in there. If it will go. It's like real tiny. Okay, so you're going to want to finger tighten this screw until it's all the way down, and then you're just going to give it a little bit, give it a little snug tighten, and that should be good. So it's connected. So we are on the Thermaltake power supply, 600 watt 80 plus gold, so this is going to be pretty good for the build here. What you want to do is when you're installing this, you want the fan to face down because the air has to get sucked in and then it pushes out through here. So here's our case. We're putting the power supply in through here. This table's a little bit wobbly, but got to line it up with the points so that we can screw it in.
To start that for shits and giggles.
Are you recording?
I am.
Why?
Just to do it.
But
Get that camera out my face, man.
all right, so we got the motherboard in. All 9 standoffs are bolted in, so we are going to open up this beautiful graphics card here. This is an 8 GB Ventus OC MSI overclocked edition 2060 Super. It has ray tracing, and this is gonna pack a punch for the price. So let's get this open. It's like Christmas. It's like opening a box on Christmas Day. This box is really in there. There we go. MSI is probably my favorite brand of graphics cards, and then ASUS, of course, but this graphics card is going to match this build because it's gray and black. So here we go. This is the Ventus OC. It's got these beautiful fans here. It's black and gray with the colorway. You got the GeForce RTX. It has a nice cooler on it. Looks like it's an 8-pin. It's rocking, let's see here. We have 3 display ports, 1 HDMI, and we're gonna get this installed. We are now going to install the graphics card on the motherboard. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna remove the first and second expansion brackets on
you're lying.
tower.
Stop it.
And then
Get
you're
some
gonna
help.
line it up. So what I like to do is try to eyeball where the graphics card is gonna line up with the bracket here. There we go. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna push it lightly. You don't have to push it hard or anything. You're just gonna wait till it clicks. So we're gonna push it. And it's installed. So here's the fun part. We're gonna be plugging in the 8-pin cable to the GPU. And then we got the 24-pin right here. And then we're gonna be plugging in the CPU power cable into the motherboard. Hold on 1 second. We wanna make sure this thing is, the clip is up on the top. So we need to make sure that. All right, so we got all the cables plugged in. So all we need to do now is just tighten up the rest of the cable management, and then we should be able to fire this bad boy up. All right, as you guys can see, the build has been complete. You see the RGBs back there in the back. We're doing first startup here. So let's get it going. Oh, she's alive.
I will pull Batman's heart from his body and feel it freeze in my hands.